Hello students, today we will continue with chapter 1, Challenges of Nation Building from our class 12th political science textbook, Politics in India Since Independence. This is the second video of the chapter in which we will be discussing about problems of partition and the integration of princely states, which was also a problem after partition. So as a partition, there were a lot of consequences. It was not a political division, but partition was the division of hearts. There was division of properties, liabilities, assets, etc. The Hindus feared going into the Muslim areas. The Muslims feared going into the Hindu areas. Lakhs of people migrated from both the parts of the sides of the border. Women had to convert religion, get married outside their own religion, forced to marriage outside their own religion, were abducted, and other atrocities were meted out on them. So it was a bad condition. It was a pathetic condition of partition, and no side of the partition countries were happy about it. Along with this, the problem that came up was the integration of princely states. British India was divided into two. It is British provinces and the princely states, right? British provinces were those which were under direct control of the British, and the princely states were those which had control over the internal affairs, and they had accepted British paramountcy. So there were there were almost 565 princely states that existed when India became independent. After independence, those provinces which were directly under British control, they came under direct India control, or they came directly under India, right? But the princely states, they were given an option. So you can see the changing faces of map of India. You can see that before partition, this was the map of India, pre-partition, 1947. You can see how the states were divided because they were princely states. On 15th August 1947, this was the map of India, where the darker portions, the darker gray portions had been divided and partitioned. And today, this is the state of India map, right? New states have been formed like Telangana, Chhattisgarh, etc. And the state, you can see how different the map is from what it was in pre-partition India and what it is today. So starting to this happened with the announcement by the British government. With the end of the British rule, like I said, the paramountcy of British crown over princely states also lapsed. So all 565 princely states became legally independent, and they were free to join. They were given an option to either join India or Pakistan or remain independent if they so wished. Most of the states joined India. How? Through the instrument of accession. This was an instrument of accession, was a paper, was a document, which was given to the princely states to sign if they were happy of joining India. Sardar Patel, the then Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister, played a historic role in the integration of princely states. He requested all these princely states to sign the instrument of accession and join India. Most of them did it. They were small states. They did it. They signed the instrument of accession and they joined India. They became a part of Union of India. They were given three considerations: that people wanted to merge with India. That was one thing. They were flexible in providing autonomy, that they could be, some matters they could handle themselves. And at the backdrop of partition, they had already seen what had happened, and so they were eagerly ready to join India. But then there were a few who did not want to join India immediately and who said that they would remain independent. And they were big states of Junagadh, Hyderabad, Kashmir, and Manipur. These states did not want to join India. Let us know more about at least three of them: Junagadh, Hyderabad, and Manipur. So the issue of Junagadh was that Junagadh became independent after 1947, and the princely state was left to decide whether it wants to join India or Pakistan. Junagadh was a state which was ruled over by a Nawab or a Muslim ruler, and so he announced that he would accede or he would join Pakistan on the advice of Diwan Bhutto, who was one of the leaders of Pakistan. So on 13th September of 1947, Pakistan accepted Junagadh as one of its states. They accepted the accession. But then India acted smart. It sent its military into Junagadh while the Nawab of Junagadh was in Pakistan, and took control over Junagadh, and overthrew the Nawab, and also the state of princely states, the rights of princely states, that it would join access to Pakistan. So this way, and then it took a plebiscite of the people, that it took asked the people what did they want, and the people decided that they wanted to stay in India, and they wanted that Junagadh should join India. And so in this way, this big state, you can see the map, that is the old map of Junagadh when it was in the Kathiawar state. They decided they had to join India, and the Nawab Muhammad Mahabat Khan III of Junagadh left for Sindh in Pakistan. And that is how Junagadh became a part of India. Next problem that came was from the state of Hyderabad. Hyderabad, the largest of the princely states, was surrounded entirely by Indian territory. Some parts of the old state are today parts of Maharashtra, Karnataka, etc. It was ruled by a Nizam, and he was the richest man who was not willing to integrate with India. There were a lot of negotiations that went on. In the meantime, a movement of people also started against the Nizam, and the Nizam sent his Razakars, or his paramilitary force, which was known as Razakar, and they were very communal in nature, and they meted out a lot of atrocities on the people. So the central government then had to send the army to tackle the situation. In September 1948, the Indian army overthrew the Razakars and moved into Hyderabad to control the Nizam's forces. Later on, Nizam had to surrender, and India, there was a plebiscite again in Hyderabad, and the people of Hyderabad decided to merge with India. And so Hyderabad, after a lot of struggle, in 1948, became a part of India. Next stage was Manipur. Shri Bodh Chandra Singh, you can see the picture here. The Maharaja of Manipur signed the instrument of accession with the Indian government a few days before the independence, with the assurance that Manipur would be given internal autonomy. In other words, Manipur would be able to control the government of India only for defense. Manipur would be under the control of the government of India only for defense, foreign affairs, and communication purposes. Under the pressure of public opinion, the Maharaja had to hold elections in June 1948, and the state became a constitutional monarchy. It was first state to hold elections based on universal adult franchise. Ultimately, the government of India succeeded in pressurizing the Maharaja to sign the merger agreement in September 1949, and without consulting the Legislative Assembly of Manipur. So this caused a lot of anger and resentment in Manipur. The Maharaja had fled and went to Pakistan. The problem still persists sometimes, but in Manipur became a part of India. So this is how these three states became the part of India after independence, although they did not want to. And India succeeded in creating a good map for itself. Another state was Kashmir, which did cause a problem while joining to India. But finally, Kashmir also we were able to access Kashmir as well, and we can make it a part of India. We will study about Kashmir a little later. Thank you. Have a good day.